Alternative Addiction. Interview exclusive.
So,
awesome.
All right, man. Well, what have you guys, other than the obvious of making a new record and getting that ready to go, what have you been doing for the past year? What have you kind of been up to?
On the real, I've been fighting for custody of my daughter and getting pretty broke and frustrated at how I can never see her. So that's all I've been doing. When I have time off, I've been in court, and I've been flying back and forth to Nebraska to try and see my daughter as much as I can because she's such a gorgeous little girl. Discovering is that America really doesn't back guys on that subject. They basically say whatever the ex-wife says goes. So it's whenever you get yourself in that situation in Nebraska, at least. But other than that, we've just been touring like crazy. We did an acoustic tour to keep my mind occupied, and it was really actually cool because I didn't think anybody would show up, and we sold out like everywhere we went. People were like really wanting to hear us acoustically, and I was like, why? What's this all about? But it was weird because I gained a lot of weight on the road because I didn't move around on stage like a storyteller. So I was like, I'm never doing that again. That's a fat one on the road. Screw the storytelling thing, man. I got 10 more pounds on me now.
You got to be able to bounce around a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I got to get some exercise, dog. Come on,
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, the acoustic stuff that went on, that's awesome. But as far as this new record, a lot went on in your life, obviously, in the past year and a half. Is that what always kind of drives you with writing? Is what's going on with your life? You're kind of an you write about yourself and that type of thing.
Yeah, I write about myself and what's going on around me. If it's not me, and I'm in a cool place, and some bugs me or something impresses me or something inspires me or something makes me want to have sex with it, then I write about it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like this last year and a half was probably most eye-opening and most beautiful and most sick and twisted year and a half just because I saw a lot of people that you're supposed to look up to and admire, like lawyers, judges, police officers, completely lie because of the fact of the can in Lincoln, Nebraska, because I'm a rocker and because some of my lyrics and other songs were fictitious about killing people and stuff like that. They claimed that I was going to kill my ex-wife, things like that. It's really odd things that happened to me to keep me from being a dad, and all I wanted to do was spend time with my little girl. So my little girl really doesn't know me yet. I'm not going boo-hoo because I'm fighting like a mother, and I'm not going to stop, So I'll keep touring to be able to fund going up there to keep fighting. So it's dramatic and all that, but when you look at my daughter's eyes and she goes, hey, Daddy, you'll understand why I'm trying to do it as much as I possibly can. Because in these day and age, it's not about fame and not how cool you are anymore, but what you leave behind when you're gone. That's a beautiful daughter,
Absolutely, man. And, there's not a lot of, I guess, mainstream, opinion or media on fathers' rights. So that's cool.
There really isn't. I searched. There's not even groups on it. Because fathers are so embarrassed to say that they might have been smacked by their woman. Or the cops called and it got turned around and they smacked her. Or some shit like that. I'm not embarrassed to say shit. If you don't like me, that's cool. Fuck off. If you do like me, listen to what I'm saying because it might help your brother who's going through the same thing. Or it might help your cousin who's going through the same thing. It might help a girl, a female that's getting abused. It's not just men. It's like just abuse. And how lawyers love to just suck it all up. I hate lawyers, by the way. I hate them.
I'm kind of getting that from you. I'm getting that you're not a fan of the system right now.
I'm a fan of entertainment lawyers. Entertainment lawyers are great because they watch my publishing. But I'm not a fan of family lawyers. Those guys make jokes behind your back about how funny it was to take your daughter's fatherhood, away from that. They laugh about that stuff. And have them on tape laughing. It's funny. When they hear it on the album, it's going to be great.
Good grief. You produced Foiled. Last big record you guys got to do. The last one was great too, but you got to produce Foiled and got to do that one. And you're back producing this new record with the help of Tim Palmer. What was it like?
Yeah, my boy.
What was it like to do the production stuff again, and what was it like to work with Tim Palmer, guys whose worked on some, legendary records.
Well, working with me is what's hard, because when I worked with Steve Lillywhite, he kept literally looking to the right, and I was sitting next to him the whole time because I suck in like I'm a sponge. I want to learn, and he saw it as, oh, he does not trust me, and I was like, I don't. I'm sorry. If it was Jesus in there, I wouldn't trust him. So I get a final product. So I'm gonna watch you. Sorry, Brock. But Tim Palmer, on the other hand, I brought him these demos, and he was like, oh man, these are sick, honest. When Steve Lillywhite was like, ooh, that's too honest. Nobody wants to hear about your problems. So it was Tim that gave me the permission to say, you know what? Fuck that county. Fuck that their decision in the album and go that extra mile, because that's what I did on Foiled. And that's all I know is being way honest, that you make people uncomfortable so they have to talk about it. Because it's some things out there you just have to talk about. And Tim went through some similar stuff that we could talk about and be dad to dad with. So he was sitting there rooting for me the whole time. It was so nice of a feeling to have Tim Palmer, this badass, rooting for me and saying, yeah, you stick it to him, the whole time. And then making it sound so good. He's so good at what he does,
Awesome. And then with working with Tim Palmer and stuff like that, you mentioned you're a sponge in the studio. What did you kind of pick up from him in there?
Well, from him, I picked up that it's good. I like to have everything worked out, and so when we go into the studio, we're ready to record. Nothing new happens. We just record what we had rehearsed. We do it precisely like that. Boom, it's done. And then we say, do we need to add anything? Tim does the same, agreed with me, same way. But then he said, I heard something in there, try this too. But he doesn't spend so much time on it that it's like going to bog down the pot. He allowed me to go a little bit nuts. You know what I'm saying? When most people would be like, okay, that was your part, thank you. He allowed me to just be like, now go sing this song, but really scream. I know you got some anger in there because you just didn't get to see your daughter last week. So tell me how the fuck that felt. Right now, go. And I'd be like, whoa. They might sing, and it came out sounding horrifying. But he was like, that's what I'm talking about. He's like a football coach or something, but the most amazing producer I've worked with.
Awesome.
He plays freedom. But he knows how to mic things perfectly. He knows what microphone sounds great with my voice. I don't know that kind of stuff.
It's safe to say that you guys have found a producer that you'd want to work with again.
Yes, that I trust enough to work with again, yeah. Because I just did not trust Steve Lillywhite, but I liked Steve as a person and as a producer, but just not for as honest as I want to be. He didn't allow me to be that guy. He pushed the band. Steve Lillywhite pushed the band a lot, and that's one thing I respect about him. The band sounded amazing in that album. I was like, you guys are some amazing players. I've never heard you play like that. I just sounded like a little wimp. I was like, oh, God, I feel so whiny.
You guys lost, CB left the band earlier this year. What was the reason behind that? And you guys missed CB, or who did you fill in with him for this record?
Dude, you won't believe who filled in on the album. It's amazing. Tim Palmer actually did. And he plays like Johnny Marr of the Smiths. It's like, wow. He picked up the guitar, and I was like, we need another guitarist. He goes, no, you don't, man. Listen to this. And I was like, you're got to be kidding me. And he just shredded. I wish I could take him on the road with us, but we can't. He has a wife and kids. But CB left the band because he wanted to start a family. And he has a beautiful wife. He has a beautiful home and a great family. And he's just ready to have kids and be a dad. And I respect that completely. 100%. He's a talented guy.
So if Tim Palmer played for this album, you had to get like some cool Smith sounding, Brit pop stuff kind of sound out of on your album here. It sounds awesome.
He was Johnny Marr. That's what I'm saying. He was Johnny Marr of the Smiths. That's what he played like. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna make me totally want to have sex with you. I want to have sex with you now, Tim. You sound so good. He was so cool, dude. He'd do like one take and I'd be like, you just made that up? They just like Britpop. It was so cool, like Stone Roses stuff.
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, Justin, you guys are releasing this on your own label through Sony and Red Distribution and stuff like that. Right. Other than the Universal deal just being done, what was your reasoning behind parting with those guys and starting independent?
Well, because there are 360 deals nowadays, and I've been doing this for 20 years of touring. So I've built my own following by touring. And Hayden just helped us out immensely at the very end of it. You know, but they're a rope it and ride it kind of company, which I respect. You know, if your single takes off, they'll rope it and ride it. But if it doesn't take off, they'll drop you quicker than snot, you know. But I had enough money at the time to invest in a new album and invest into a record company. And I wanted to always start at one. I don't want to sign any bands right now. I want to just make sure that we come out sounding right. And Missy from distribution is so great and believes in me and thinks the world of us. So we have Brando doing our label services, and it just works out perfectly. Because at the end of the day, it comes to me, and I go, yes or no. And how cool is that?
Cool.
Gosh, I'm that guy now? Oh, Lord, I'm kind of nervous.
That's awesome. And,
you know?
and with Brando and Mike and those guys over there, I mean, like, they probably don't get a lot of spotlight, but with your management and stuff like that, are they pretty behind you? Are they great people?
They're the reason we're here. They're the reason I got a deal again. They're the reason I got off drugs and got a deal again. They're the reason that I'm still kicking. My manager was sitting with me through the whole year-and-a-half divorce crap. He sat with me and flew up there and made sure I was cool. He came and got me out of the state hospital. My manager's the bomb. He died. I'd die for that guy. He's just the shit. He's the best guy in the world. I trust him with my life.
This interview was brought to you by AlternativeAddiction.com. If you'd like to download a copy of this interview or find other interviews like it,